Welcome to the Fitness Queens podcast, empowering your mind and sculpting your body. Join your hosts, multiple fitness world champions, Alicia Kyrios and Stephanie McHugh, as we explore all things female health, training, competing, mindset, and living the fitness life every day.
Okay, beautiful. And then I will just do like a quick little intro and talk about why I'm getting on, because I thought it'd be really cool to bring Sarah on around the comp closet itself, which is it's such a cool concept. And when she first messaged me about it, I was like, fuck yeah, this is going to be mad. But it's actually exploded way more than I even thought it would, which is great.
Amazing.
It's look, it's indicative of just how good Sarah is with social media and promotional stuff. So she's positioned it really well. But okay, all right. Well, I'll loop back and I'll do the little intro and then we'll lead into it. And then, Steph, you can do your Little Miss Curious, absolutely no knowledge, lots of questioning that you do. And I think that'll take us down some pretty cool rabbit holes. We'll just make it really organic.
Yeah, perfect.
Love it.
So welcome everybody to the newest edition of We Fitness Queens podcast with my beautiful co-host, Miss Stephanie Ayala McHugh.
Hello, everyone. Oh my gosh, Ali, you're in a sweater and I'm in literally tanks. Like, what the hell?
I know,
it's opposite climates.
It's always the opposites, and it always cracks me up because she'll be looking like all dapper in these winter layers, and I'm sitting here sweating up a bucket. Every time it's the role reversal, so it's quite nice for me to be up here all chilly. I've got my UGG boots on, babe.
Oh man, and I got slippers on, so that gives you a perspective, guys. The whole world spectrum. Australia right now is in winter, and USA is in summer. Well, actually, you can't say that yet. We're on the cusp of summer. We're about maybe a week out from summer, but it feels fucking hot, so I can say it's summer.
And we're welcoming one of my beautiful friends and just most amazing athletes in my team, who has become my pinup poster girl for all things, consummate professional. So prepping like a pro, doing off season like a pro, posting like an absolute boss pro. This lady, honestly, for anyone that's listening to this that has stumbled across the comp closet, you're going to know who's behind it. And it is the beautiful Sarah Moore. She's joining us today from New Zealand, who is way colder even than what I'm feeling, but she got online and I've looked at her and gone, babe, do you even feel cold today? Because she's not all layered up. And she's like, yeah, I've got my fireplace on. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Hi, Sarah. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. What an intro. I'm so excited to chat a bit more about this.
Oh, look, and I couldn't wait to get Sarah on for this because, and I was saying to Steph offline, the Comp Closet is a incredible online marketplace that Sarah has put together basically out of a need that she has identified in the market for people to be able to buy and sell pre-loved stage wear, theme wear, and gowns at a more affordable price. So essentially, a lot of the conversations we'd had in Sarah's first sort of year or so of competing was, hey, this isn't cheap and we're trying to do multiple shows in a year. And her and I were workshopping, how can we make this the most affordable approach? And so, fast forward 18 months, 2 years post her going pro, and Sarah had actually inboxed me and said, hey, I've got this idea. I think I'm going to roll it out. And I was like, babe, this is a great idea. Please do this because I think this is going to go really well. But as I just said offline, she exceeded once again, like this woman always does, exceeded my expectations on every level. And this whole concept in the Comp Closet has taken off, and it's really going from strength to strength. So, for everyone that's listening to this, Sarah, that hasn't had exposure to you and maybe hasn't seen you pop up on my pages or the Comp Closet and the podcast that we did together shared across my pages and stumbled on you, tell everyone listening to this a little bit more about it, how you came, upon developing it and what your vision for it was.
Yeah, for sure. So the ultimate vision when I launched the Comp Closet, which I've been working on it for a while, but we only just launched in Feb/April this year, so it's still pretty new, but I just wanted to make competing more accessible for more competitors, because I know before I competed, it was such a big aspiration for me and it was like a bucket list item, and I just didn't know if I'd ever be able to afford it. And after saving for 2 years, I managed to compete in my first show, and then I was like, I love this. I want to do it again. I want to go pro. Like I want to do all the things. So I got quite savvy and I figured out a way to make it happen. But I had to give up other things in other areas, of my life. Like we were saving for a house and that made that harder. And we couldn't go on holidays and like all these other things that I had to give up to compete. But I just absolutely loved competing. And it really did change my life. Like it changed my career. It changed the way that I approach life, like so many things. So I just wanted to make something that made competing more accessible for everyone. So the cost aspect is obviously a big thing that a lot of people don't compete because they can't afford it, but it actually can be so much more affordable. So that's why I've created the Comp Closet online marketplace. So it's a peer-to-peer marketplace. So basically you can go on the website, you can list all of your old stage wear, all of your theme wear, your gowns, your bikinis, all that stuff that's sitting in your closet that's worth money. You can make some money yourself while also making it easier for other competitors to buy pre-loved stagewear for a more affordable discounted price than buying new. So that's the ultimate vision behind it. And then I've also created this really incredible community that's just absolutely blown up. So I started a Facebook group, not to be a coach. I don't coach or anything like that. That's completely separate to my realm, but I kind of just wanted to be like that big sister kind of vibe, like just giving
Hype girl
competitors. Yeah, exactly. And creating networks as well, because comp prep can be really lonely, especially if you're in, a location that doesn't have that many competitors. So girls can meet other competitors in their area. They can catch up with them for posing and workouts and things like that, and just an open, happy place that you can ask questions. So yeah, that's really the gist behind it.
Man, I love this. Like, wow, Sarah, like the fact that you took the initiative to actually do this is so incredible because it is needed. Like the fact that I didn't have this accessible. I mean, given there's been some little things pop up here and there, like on Facebook of girls trying to do this, but it's never really gotten big to the network of like, this is just to modeling bikini and competitions. Like there's other people you can buy from, but I don't feel like it's niched specifically like you've been able to nail it. So awesome job, like way to nail that. It's a needed thing in this market, and I think that's worldwide. It's not just like a demographic of just US or Australia. You're in New Zealand, like that gives us a good perspective of this is a whole worldwide comp closet. So it's not just one country that we should just be looking at, like saying, oh, only, well, here in Texas, it feels like a country by itself. But if you guys haven't been able to see little examples of people putting how Texas is pretty much a country in itself, comparable to Europe or comparable to Australia or comparable to other countries. So I feel like this is such a unique approach because it actually has what you need, like the gowns, I'm sure, like the bikinis and theme wear. Like, where the hell do you find theme wear? I'm serious. Like, you can't find it.
It's difficult and it's so freaking expensive. I was actually just having this conversation with one of my pros who's competing in Dubai 2 days ago, and we were talking about it, that largely your starting costs on a theme wear, if you're going to have something built, 3,000 minimum.
I was going to say 2,500, but that's
usually starting around the 5K mark. 5K, guys, is about where you'd be. So, and I remember the first time I actually hired a well, it wasn't even Renata then. It was pre-Renata days. And from the officials, I hired one, and the hiring cost for a single day was 2,000 euros. 2,000 euros.
That was what I came into
hired it and handed it back for 2,000 euros. Like, holy wow, that's basically a wedding dress.
I was gonna say, just you're reamed. Like you're just reamed. I'm sorry, but it's like
you really
so
are
expensive. It's like honestly a mortgage that you like. I could have paid my house with this amount of money. But you know what? Like we do it because we do love competing, and I think that when you have this aspiration that you want to achieve this goal that you set out for yourself, and roadblocks come in, financials come in, like financial stress comes into a big factor into competing. And if you can, kind of alleviate some of that stress. And I always recommend this to girls, like instead of hiring a new custom, suit or a theme wear, look for something you like and
Yeah.
actually reach out to that girl and see if maybe approximately, you can have measurements close enough for you to be able to wear it. And I think that that's so much more feasible
And
for a
then
first competitor, especially
as
when
well
they're,
too, Steph,
doing the first show.
if someone's worn something and they're in a completely different hemisphere to you, the likelihood
And
that people on your stage are going to have ever even seen that before are slim to none. So I've seen some amazing bargains going worldwide. There's been some Renata hot grabs from places where
Yes.
I've not even seen them on stage, and I'm like, whoa, that's a beautiful suit. And then people are picking them up at like a fraction of the usual cost. Now, Sarah, when you first sort of launched, and I guess it's now, snowballing and gathering a lot more momentum, how much traction are you getting? Has it completely surpassed your own expectation? And what is the most common thing that you're sort of seeing people on the hunt for?
Yeah, so my biggest concern, honestly, before starting the marketplace was, are people even going to sell their stagewear? Because without the supply, there's no marketplace at all, and then there's nothing for people to buy. So I spent probably 2 months over Christmas just reaching out to women and competitors and asking if they would actually sell their stagewear and how many pieces they had. And then I had this list of like, 200 to 500
Yeah.
pieces of stagewear that
Yeah.
these women wanted to sell so that they
That's
could get money
insane.
back, compete again, and also to help future competitors. So
Mm.
that was my biggest concern, and that was like way just blown out of the ballpark for what I
Yeah.
expected. I thought maybe I'll get like 10
That's
listings on there and we'll start from there, but we've got hundreds on there. And the biggest thing that people are looking for is definitely bikinis that they can afford. And they might have in their head that they want a specific color or designer, or they want something under $500. So we've got all those filters on the comp closet. So you can go
Which is
through
so cool.
and find the exact color, the exact designer, the exact price, everything that you want. We've got girls putting measurements up there to make sure it fits. And
That's
you
so
Did
can
you just say
cool.
find your
you could filter this? Did you just say
Yeah,
you could
yeah.
filter
she's next
your
level, man. Sarah is next level. And actually, let me just say this, people, because Sarah's been with me for a very long time. And this is back in the heyday when Sarah was very first entering into the market. She was not a known entity, not a known profile, very low social ranking and very low social following. I have watched this girl turn up every day, every week, and consistently post ever since she started in very humble beginnings. And I've watched her organically and slowly grow. And now all of a sudden she's starting to explode. But I'll tell you
love it.
now, she's not doing anything crazy different today than she did 2 years ago. She's still turning up and posting and putting out quality content and quality, posts. It's just that over time with consistency, the returns will come. So,
Mm.
for anyone sort of thinking about this and thinking about this is an overnight success, it's not. Sarah has been working hard to build her her platform and her portfolio for a while, and it's just now that we're seeing the fruits of all of her labor. But I think the systematic organization and the comprehensive nature of the closet is doesn't shock me, because I know Sarah, and to me it's like, oh yeah, that just makes sense. It's exactly how that thing would operate because it's Sarah behind it. But for everyone that's listening to this, I guess there is a message here is, start turning up, start doing it, start working
Mm.
out what works, start, post the stuff
What a
anyway, even
message.
if you're not getting the views or the likes or the engagement that you immediately think you should. And this includes if you have a new business venture, because it's only time. It just takes
Mm.
consistency over time. So, Sarah, on this note, now that we know too that we've got all this filtering capacity, which is epic, what's the most frequently filtered filters? Like, do you have like out of curiosity, are most people sitting in a financial range? Are most people searching for a
I would
select
think
few
so, but
designers?
I'm
Like,
sure you
is
do.
there a popular color? Because I'm going to ask this for two reasons. I want to see where people are trending, number one, but number two, I also want to see what's about to become saturated, because I don't want people wearing the
Ooh.
same color. So tell me,
Good questions,
where are
Allie.
things
Good
going?
questions.
Yeah, that's an interesting one, actually. I think color really depends on hair color. Like, for example, the last show, I feel like there were so many blondes in baby blue bikinis, and now we have an influx of blondes selling baby blue bikinis.
You're right.
Which means that the next show, like the Sydney April show,
It's going to have a lot of
different
blondes
colors.
with baby blue.
We know that scene baby blue was in the last show, so then everyone went pink or orange in that show. So I'm not sure what the next trend will be because I feel like it changes every time. But in terms of price range, I'd say people are looking anyway. We have some bikinis from only like 250 Australian dollars.
Wow.
But anywhere up to like even $1,500 or $2,000 because some of these bikinis are $3 or $4 brand new. So if people are picking them up for 50% of the original price, they're pretty happy. So yeah, I'd say anywhere up to that $1,500 to $2,000 mark, bikinis are selling for, depending on obviously where they've been worn, what condition they're in, what designer they're by. And we're having people purchase bikinis from all over the world. We've just had one purchased in Canada, a whole lot obviously in Australia, a few in the US, a couple in New Zealand. So it really is global.
Like the fact that you just said that lowest range of bikinis here, you said 250 AUD, which in Australian dollars, Americans that are listening to this, that's $165. Like, are you fucking kidding me? No wonder I would pay the extra $50 or $100 shipping. Like that would still give me a $250 bikini in USD. Like, you are kidding me if you aren't trying to hop on and look at what some of the Australians are actually trying to throw their bikinis for. Even though you see 500, do you read the AUD? Aussie money, please.
You guys
no, Americans are stupid. I'm sorry, Americans.
Exactly.
We fucking don't read. Like, we don't read shit, and we just
so
skim
much
through a number
cheaper for you guys.
It
like when really you
converts over, guys. So just try to look at that, and if you haven't already realized that Australian money is a different conversion than US money. I mean, I'm sorry, but some Americans don't notice that. So just noticing that for some Americans.
It's true. It's true. It means that you guys would pick up the top of the line bikini for maybe about $700-800 max.
Like, that's insane.
Like you're paying about $700-800 for a bikini that, you probably would have spent €3,000 for, way more expensive. So I agree. And I think, again, the fact that it is global and attracting global donators as well as purchasers, it means that you're capable of wearing something that's not been visibly seen in your local demographic, right?
Yes, exactly. In your country.
And I would strongly recommend that. I know I have to actually go through my cupboard because when I was going through the renovation of the house, and I know Sarah and I talked about this back before Christmas, I was like, oh, babe, I'm going to have so many things. And I actually do. It's just, for me, it's finding time to actually go through because, as everyone knows, I have all of my gowns handmade and bespoke in Turkey with, like ridiculous quality product. And then the other pieces are Renata bespoke, custom designed. And then outside of that, there's been random odd European boutiques that I've picked things up in. So people, when I go to sell my stuff, you're picking up some really incredible bespoke pieces.
You're gonna make me go through my actual closet.
I do need to. My other question to you, Sarah, would be, are you selling things like, because I know I've got a few Louboutins that I've worn once that I need to on sell that are like $2,000-3,000 US each, brand new. So, are you doing things like that? Because I think this would be an opportunity for people to pick up designer elements to really elevate a piece if you can pick them up way more affordably. And also, these are the pieces you'd be wearing to media nights and in your photo shoots and for all of those other, bits and pieces. And is there a photo shoot wing to the comp closet?
Yes. We have a category for photo shoot outfits, because that's another thing. Like, women will wear things for photo shoots for literally an hour and then it never gets worn again. So you can sell it. It's way cheaper than getting a stylist. You can just look at photos of examples that you want to mimic that look, and you can purchase these items pre-loved. We also have a section for heels, and we're looking to add on accessories as well, because I think that would be great for things like media night. And another thing that people are doing as well is they might pick up a bikini for $200 and then they'll take it to a designer and they'll add to it, or they'll do it themselves and actually and add more things to it to make it look a little bit different, which is really cool. I'm really excited to see those ones on stage.
Yeah, I really love that concept. I've actually suggested that to a few of the teams to look at the comp closet. Let's identify some options that aren't overdone with regards to color, then let's modify and completely adjust bits and pieces, and or let's take a base and then add stuff to it for the evening show to make it a completely second bikini, even though it's not. So, you know, you've got the capacity to make it look like you've hit the stage with two completely different looks for the total cost of what one bikini would have cost you. So, you know, there's definitely room here to navigate options for your shows as well. So I really love that. Now, Sarah, talk us through the difference between hiring or purchasing.
Yeah, so we haven't actually got our hiring aspect up and running yet. So at the moment, it's just purchasing. But yeah, the hiring and rentals is something that we're working on to launch down the track. But yeah, at this stage, it's just the purchasing. So you can just go onto the website, you can list your own items, create an account. Buyers can go on there and message you. They can get measurements and things like that. And then you can purchase through the website. It's all super safe payment processing. So that's another thing, is the money doesn't get released to the seller until the buyer actually receives the bikini and confirms it's okay. So if there's any issues, we can send a refund and send the bikini back, because we don't want people spending, you know, a big chunk of money and then having an issue with the bikini, or it doesn't arrive or something like that. So just keeping people safe as well.
Yeah, that's lovely. I love that.
That like gives me like, okay, here I use Poshmark here and there, and I don't know if you guys have Poshmark in Australia.
No.
Do you guys?
No.
So my obviously US listeners are gonna be like, oh yeah, I love Poshmark is essentially a thrift store online, right?
Nice.
Where you can post all of your items that you've loved and already worn, whether if you've worn them once or freaking a million times, and sell them for whatever you think the amount should be for that item. And it's crazy the amount of things I've got on there just because I'm going to wear them one time, like for a photo shoot or for an event, or like an event that I know I have to have a specific color for. I'm like, look up blue heels because I'll never freaking in the store find blue heels. Like, come on, like the likelihood of you finding blue heels, like legitimately in a mall, in a store, is very slim. I've tried. So you go and actually look up fuchsia hot pink heels or royal blue heels, and legitimately anywhere in the US, anyone that has posted that color or that style of element pops up. And then just like Sarah's kind of mentioning, you are allowed to filter through, which is such an amazing platform. So I'm grateful for even that thrift store online that's called Poshmark, that gives me that security too, like Sarah just mentioned, of knowing I'm not going to be charged until I really get the item. Although I get charged initially, like I know the money has been processed and made sure that it's in my my account to make sure I'm not a fraud either. So it does come out, but I can fight that until I receive the item. So
correct.
That's really what the safety she's referring to. So even if they like kind of double check you've got the funds of what you're saying you're about to purchase, that's really not really coming out of your account until you have received the item. That's awesome. I love that about a platform. So you would definitely have my business. I think that is, you always want security. You never know where you're buying from or what platform if it's not trusted yet. So I definitely will be on probably posting some stuff because I have to go and clean out.
Oh my God, 100% right. Like I'm the same. I'm like, whoa, I have so
gowns.
many things.
Oh, gowns! Like the amount of gowns I haven't worn.
Like,
no, guys, like. No, never. That I bought, but they didn't work. Like
no, I've got I've got like the ones where they're, like I said, like all hand stitched and.
Oh no, yours are like the couture ones.
Yeah,
like,
I have all these couture ones, right? And
extra.
I'm talking like with these couture ones, like I'm not lying. You can only wear them a few times and then that's it, done. You can't keep fucking wearing them. They're not a sheen, right? So it's like I need to move them on because I've got to make room for new ones. So it's like I need to do this. But hey, listen, Sarah, because this is me, right? We know me. I am so busy juggling so many balls. I don't have the time to manage an account. can I just swing them to you and you do it for me? Because
Yeah, I can.
I don't want to have to deal
I
with
wish
this.
I had her that
No,
close
honestly, I
to
can.
me.
All I need is the photos, and then I can
Yep.
set up the account and manage it
Gosh.
and do all
Right,
of that.
sweet.
But
I
the
love
other
you.
cool thing is like people who look up to you guys, and they've seen, you guys are obviously world champions. They might love a bikini that you won a crown in or a gown
Yeah,
or on stage, and
I
they
do
get to
have some.
actually
Can I
wear
say
something
though,
worn by world champions.
that's actually why I've held off on
That's I'm the same.
honestly, like
I'm
I've
the same.
never ever allowed anyone to wear any championship
Yeah,
bikini
that's been me too.
or rebuy or resell or
Yeah.
rent out just because it was so special to me
Yeah,
to know
yeah,
that
yeah.
that's
And
my title that I wanted in.
I always wanted, I don't know, Steph,
It's
about
kind
you,
of
but
weird to me even saying I would resell them or rebuy them, like rent them to be
I
honest.
don't know about you, Steph, but for me, I always wanted to be able to have them featured
Frame,
inside of an
frame,
actual
frame.
frame with the
Yeah,
crown associated above. Once I was
I've
finished
envisioned
with
that.
wearing the crowns, yeah, I
I've
always
envisioned
wanted to
it,
do that.
but I don't have a big enough house, and I've already got that. Like
Hey,
I've
look,
got over the fact that I don't
yeah,
need that big of a house, and I think everything that I think of me storing like a gallery, like an art gallery, like my theme wear and my bikinis, and like you're saying
yeah.
the crowns and all your trophies per se. I'm like, no, I'm over that dream. I don't need that. I don't need that in my house. I don't. I'd rather like have honestly like a closet, like
Yeah.
so. I'm good. I'm over it. So.
Do you know I've actually had people reach out and offer to buy my 2017 title win with the satin. You know, the
Oh
satin
yeah.
That's
piece I
my
had.
favorite
It's
freaking
on
bikini of
Yeah,
yours.
it's honestly
My
been the
favorite
favorite bikini
bikini.
for a lot of people. I've had people reach out and request that. I've also had people reach out and request my Aztec, which was my favorite theme wear ever. The
That was my
royal
favorite
blue
teamwear.
with the red and I had the Gucci limited edition heels that
Okay,
went
no.
matched in
I
with
was
it.
thinking of
Oh
your
my God.
black one. Your
Oh
black and
yeah,
gold
okay. So
one.
that's my second favorite. That's my second
Sorry,
favorite.
but
The
your
one that's
black and
really
gold.
Aztec-y though, that one
I
was the
know what
one that I
you're
wore
talking
in
about.
Vegas, and
Vegas
it
year.
was quintessential Victoria's Secret. Like I never felt more Vicky's Secret than I did in that outfit. It
You
was
were so golden. I loved about
gorgeous,
it. You were like
gorgeous.
legitimately golden. What I loved about the black and gold
It
one
was
was
boss.
you were so
It
fierce.
was
Like
boss. It was
you
so
were
boss.
just
Yeah,
gave me chills of
yeah. It
how
was
fierce
boss.
you were.
Yeah.
So I'm torn. I love those two. So I don't know. I feel like it's a tie. But
And I
bikini
think
2017 is a winner for sure.
yeah, yeah, I think so too. And I think, look, I always remember things by the shoe that I actually accessorized with. And I still have a couple of these pieces where I know I won't be able to wear the heel again just with my back. They're just, they're the kind of heel that is a feature heel that you wear like literally you
Temporarily.
sit in it. It's a temporary thing. You can't walk in it for far. You might photo shoot in it and that's it. I've got
I have
pardon me,
one of
I've got
those
like I think like
pairs.
two or three pairs like that, and I'm
Yeah.
like, there's no point having these in my bloody closet. I've got to get rid of them.
Honestly, that's the same dilemma that I found from the first pair of heels that were like
Yeah,
designer freaking
yeah,
Louis Vuitton. I'm like, I'll never again waste my money because I
yeah,
do save
because
money.
they're
Because it's a
uncomfortable.
waste of money. I'm like, never again. So yeah, totally reselling those as well.
Yeah.
I've actually never worn them again.
So for me,
So
I found with Louis Vuittons, anyone listening to this, if it's a peep, if it's sorry, a point toe, scrap that because they're fucked. And if they don't have a platform at the front, oh my God, horrendous.
yeah,
And if they are a narrow toe, and I have for anyone, it's ironic actually
good
because I actually have
ballerina.
I'm an ex ballerina, so I have a very narrow, very small, very like people used to joke about me being one of those Japanese, wrapped feet people because my feet are so small compared to the rest of my body that it just they look a little retarded. Anyway, so with that in mind, if I'm uncomfortable wearing those and they put undue stress and pressure on my hips and my back, imagine if you're someone that has a normal size foot or maybe even a wide foot. They are not comfortable. So if you are going to go for a designer, think platform, elevation for comfort, ideally more of an open toe, because I've never gone wrong with those, and they have been what I would classify as $2,000 investments for sure. I have flogged them, worn them with everything. They've been literally a staple in my closet. They're a basic, like a Nike freaking sneaker would be, and they're worth it. They're worth the investment. But oh my God, do not go anything else because you will regret it. And like me and Stephanie, you'll be reselling later.
Just don't do it. Like, honestly, I can agree with you more, Allie. And the open toe is the way to go, no matter who you are. Like, open toe, you can't go wrong with. You just can't. You go closed toe, you might have a little issue. So just eliminate that. Open toe is always a great just route. And Sarah, because I'm curious, how many heels at the moment are being sold on the site or are getting pushed on the site? Or is it matching to the bikini, or is it just individual heels being sold separately? Like, what's the situation right now?
Yeah, there's a few, like most bikini listings will say that they've got matching heels, but obviously that's size dependent. So often people have to buy the bikini and then either rent their own heels or go and get heels decorated by a designer. But we do probably have maybe 20 pairs of heels for sale separately on the site. Find your and the matching
that's great.
grab them. Yeah.
I have got a question, actually. All right, how many times are we coming up against a problem where a bikini top doesn't match bottom in sizing for people?
I think the main thing, because the bikini tops tend to be quite adjustable, like with the adjustable straps and things. So the main thing is, as long as people are buying the right cup size, like you're not buying a bikini of someone with implants if you've got like an A cup boob. You know, as long as you're getting the right cup size and the bottoms fit, then people are generally okay because they do have that adjustability around the back and normally on the straps as well.
And I guess you could probably always take it to a designer and get it adjusted if need be, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we're working on a database at the moment of designers in each location so that if anyone needs to get something adjusted locally, they can go and get that done.
That's like even love that, because I
told you, man. Sarah's
my next question was about the tailoring, so she was already hitting my next question.
All over it.
It was in regards to if you buy a piece, you get it tailored to you. You clearly want to go bigger is what I would recommend. Would you say the same thing? Like, it's okay if maybe the bottoms are 1 to 2 to 3 inches bigger
than what them tailored
is, because you can get that tailored down versus being fearful that it's too small and it may not fit you. Would you say that?
Yeah, exactly. And it can be a little bit tricky, like if you haven't competed before, so you don't really know what your stage
size
is going to be. So I just have a chat to your coach or even chat to the person that you're buying it from and see what their measurements were, a few weeks out from stage or whatever. So you can try and compare and figure it out. But there is always the option, like I said, of getting it tailored. And if you go a little bit bigger, then you can get that taken in. But the cup size is most important for sure.
You can't grow your boobies, girl. So just you can add a little, fat in there, but that's about it.
Hey, listen, quick question. What do you tell everyone to do for suit love and care and cleaning, so that if you are someone listening to this and you're thinking about repurposing a suit and or purchasing a suit that's been repurposed, what is it that you're telling people to do to care for the suit? Because someone might actually aim to buy one and then sell it back on again, because that's what I would do.
Yeah, exactly. So I've done a post on this with a bit more detailed instructions. So maybe we can pop the link in for that. But basically what you want to do is right after the show, if you can, wipe off any like tan or anything with a baby wipe, because it comes off so much easier straight away. And then you can hand wash it as well. So you only want to like dip it in the water and then kind of hand wash it to get off any like tan stains or anything like that. You don't really want to get them dry cleaned or put them in really hot water because it can damage the glue that holds on the gems. So the main thing is just really delicate hand wash and then just lay it out flat to air dry. But generally they're in pretty good condition after a show. It's just the little bits of tan and that on the inside, which you wouldn't see anyways on stage. But just that light hand wash is normally what we recommend.
Yeah, nice. So for anyone listening to this, don't go getting precious. If you get it, unwrap it, and on the inside, which is not visible, there is some marking because it's not going to deter from your stage experience, basically.
Yeah, exactly. No one
and it's unavoidable,
loving, guys.
It's unavoidable. Okay, so we've got bikinis, we've got shoes, sometimes as a package, sometimes separate because of sizing issues. We've got theme wear. How big is the theme wear closet right now?
That's growing. I think we maybe
Nice.
have like 50 or so themeware listings. I know
Wow,
there's
that's
more people who have
good.
got themeware, but they haven't listed it yet just because they haven't gotten around to it. But there's
Yeah,
a pretty incredible range of themeware, and
it's
again,
mad.
like a bit of a price range as well. Some people are selling with bikinis, some people are selling separately. So yeah,
Mhm.
there's quite a lot out there, and some of it hasn't been on stage for, 4 or 5 years. So people have completely forgotten about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Fuck,
That's
I need to go through my
that
closet.
was yeah, that was
Hey,
the one thing
Stephanie,
that I
do we
feel.
still have
Yes,
themeware in Bahamas?
I was just about to remind you.
I'm
I
pretty sure
swear to
you
God,
and
we
I
got
still
some
got some at the
wings.
house.
I think okay, so
Okay,
guys, how do
we
you
need to get
travel
it.
with themeware? And this is a very common question. Like, how do I like pack my themeware? How
It's
do I
hard.
get to another country with my themeware? My wings are freaking 10 feet big. Like, I don't know what to do. And that was Allie and I's situation where I honestly was
We just left them in our
at the
house.
airport to get into the Bahamas country. They wouldn't even allow me to enter. And I had to just fight and just beg and just
It's terrible.
continue trying to go through the loopholes of it's just not a goose, okay? It's not like a duck or some type of feather wing that this is made out of. I'm like, this is legit feather wings from a geese. Like, just trying to make my fight of just getting these wings inside of Bahamas to where I wasn't gonna fight it to get back in the US. I'm like,
No,
I'm
no,
good. I'm gonna leave this here.
it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. And I left mine. That's my black outfits. That's
That
inside
was
of
your black
Stephanie's
and
house.
gold one.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Okay, so we might need to have a look at that.
I mean,
Someone's
honestly, it's just
Bahamas
the
needs
shipping
steamwear.
overseas.
We're going probably next year. We'll be there next year, I think, because I think we're going to
I
do
might beat you
the
to the Bahamas
US.
before
You
then.
probably will because
Maybe.
it's like honestly the cost of travel at the moment is ridiculous. So
So
we've scaled right
ridiculous.
back on our international travel this year. We're hitting the absolute must do's, and then we've got like hitting the US
Sophia's
circuit and
coming
stuff like that next year.
overseas. Is
Yes,
Sophia, you said
she is.
Sophia's
Yes,
coming
she
overseas? Yeah.
is. Yes, she
Oh, I'm
is.
excited. I get to
She's got to
meet her.
meet Arnie Steph, mate.
I'm like
She's got to
so
meet
pumped.
Arnie Steph.
I couldn't make obviously this first half, so I have to meet her
I
on the second
know.
half.
I
And
know.
I'm so excited to have you guys overseas. And Sarah, I like just for anyone listening here, Sarah actually went pro at the Dallas show when
Yes.
she came over. And I think that her freaking physique, her presence, her
She's
personality,
amazing.
she stands out like a pro.
Yeah.
She totally resembles it. And I look what she's done with our industry of being able to create something that is needed and actually is not just needed, it's actually something that is more than needed. Like
Yeah,
I feel
correct.
like this is the missing piece for a lot of competitors that are
Yep.
aspiring competitors that are like, no, financially I'm not ready, I just can't make my budget work yet.
Yep.
This is the route to go. When I
Yep.
first started competing, I had to look at the cheapest route just to make it work, just because I wasn't
Correct.
in a position to be able to run my credit card up and say, oh,
Yep.
fuck it, like, I don't care what happens afterwards because you still have to pay your bills. So you still have to make ends meet. I'm sorry.
Yep.
But at the same time, I feel like you have also this ability to compete more often because when you
It's
do just one
affordable.
show, yes,
It's
exactly. Like you
affordable.
just do one show and it breaks the bank, you're like,
Yep.
okay, I can compete till next year. But when you do something affordable like Sarah's route and you do rent or buy or whenever that route comes out, right, with the renting, I think that you're able to feasibly really do a couple to three shows, multiple shows a
And when
year
when
just to
you're
build this route.
prepping for that duration and you're coming in peak condition and you're in a situation where you could easily maintain and life and all of the other extenuating factors are allowing you space to maybe do an 8 week run and hit 2 or 3 stages in that 8 weeks, by all means,
Mm.
bloody do it. Take advantage of it. Like I
Yes.
definitely strongly urge people to do it if it's a possibility. Now, actually,
Yeah.
on this concept of Sarah filling gaps where gaps are needed, I tell you what, one other thing that Sarah did really well, and I absolutely love it, is the comp Bible. So it's the journal. So it's basically like Oh, it's like a great
A
record keeping,
rundown of what,
target scheduling,
girlfriend, what are
progress
you,
analysis
you're
all the
doing
way through to
amazing.
stage. It's amazing. Actually, I'm going to throw this out there, Sarah. I want to work with you to develop a off-season one because I
Yeah.
want to be using it for
Reverse.
off-season, but I'm kind of wasting a lot of the journal's benefits in an off season, if that makes sense, because the way this
Yes.
journal layout is, I've gone to use it and I'm like, oh man, no, I really want to save this now for actually the cut phase. But I feel like we could definitely get together and build a comprehensive off-season build and performance focused journal. So I think that could be the next gap that we fill, that is needed by women that are fearing the off season, because Sarah is the queen of off seasons. I tell you what, she never ceases to
I
amaze
love
me
that.
with how well she goes from strength to strength in them. So, tell us a little bit about this, because this is
Can I
pretty cool
ask
too.
you, before she goes into answering that, can I ask you, would this work? Because I haven't seen this comp Bible. Would this work for a reverse? Because I feel like although the off season
Yeah.
is the hardest part for any competitor, honestly, coming out of a show, the hardest part is doing the
It's always the
reverse.
reverse. Yeah.
Before we get to the off season, would this work for the reverse portion
For
of the
sure.
competitors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the prep diary, what Ali's referring to, I came out with
I
this.
call it a Bible because I
Yeah.
honestly reckon it's like,
I
like
called it
it's
Bible. Okay.
gospel. It's gospel.
Yeah.
Love it.
So it's basically like if you imagine a yearly planner, it's got daily planner sheets for 20 weeks of your prep. It's got all of the key protocols that you need to tick off. So little check boxes for training, steps, nutrition, posing,
Love
hydration,
it.
recovery, all of that. You can
Everything.
write in all of your protocols, tick them off. You can plan your day to the hour. And then it's got mindset sections, budgeting sections, and then every kind of month or so it's got checkbox reminders of what you need to book in, when you need to buy your bikini, when you need to book all your beauty appointments, like everything you need for a prep. And it's 20 weeks long, undated, so you can use it anytime. I actually use mine for my build. I used one for my reverse. I used it for everything, just ticking off those protocols.
Yeah.
But like Ali said, it would be amazing to have a specific one with those reminders of
Correct. And I think, like, because I said to Sarah, I'm going to start using mine in my reverse, because I was doing the broadcast
Mm.
channel and really starting to promote the whole performance orientated focus for me in my off season. And then I got injured, so the downtime came, and as I was sitting in the downtime and I was going through it all, I was like, man, I don't actually want to waste this tool for this process, because I feel like there are things in here that don't apply to right now. But then I was thinking about all the things Sarah and I work on in an off season. I'm going, there are a lot of things we could be putting in here that are missing. So I was like, I'm going to hit Sarah up. We're going to do a little collab on this, I think.
so keen.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that idea. Great concept, guys. I think that not only do you need guidance during the off season, because that's when we can get a little too flexible and a little bit
Yeah.
too lenient
Yeah.
with our season, we've got to have that structure of, okay, I've got boundaries. If
Yeah.
I'm so flexible, but I have boundaries and I have things reminding me of, you should be doing this by this mark, or you should be kind of reminding yourself of the transitional phase, going from a build into maybe your next prep, and actually kind of systematically knowing, okay, I'm 4 weeks out of my transition phase. This is the end of my bulk, or you know what, I'm actually hitting my measurements and I'm hitting, all my targets, whatever the build kind of climax is for yourself, which looks different for everybody. We've talked about building seasons a lot on the, on this podcast, and it's very individual, like
Yeah.
going back to how far you need to push and how far you need to go in your build and how long of an off season you actually need to have. Some individuals don't need as long and some need a little longer. So wherever you lay, maybe your comp Bible or comp prep diary, however we call it, may look a little longer in the off season, or maybe your reverse looks longer.
Yeah.
I see
True.
some clients go through a shorter reverse versus some have to go through that longer reverse because they had to go through a longer prep. And a longer prep normally, usually equates to a longer reverse versus somebody that had a shorter prep that can do a shorter reverse. And I think that kind of allows you to kind of think of, okay, maybe I'm not just 20 weeks, maybe I'm 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 16
Yeah.
weeks, and 20 weeks versus just always looking at that time frame
Hey,
as, let's say, standard.
yeah, absolutely. Hey, Sarah, have you thought about doing a discounted diary for everyone that has a purchase?
Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
closet. You should definitely do that.
We haven't launched it yet, but we're just in the process of setting it up. We're actually going to do a free prep diary for anyone who buys their bikini, gown, anything for season B. So
How
wow, that's
cool.
massive. That's
That's like
so
a
cool.
push, girls. Anyone
Yeah.
listening, definitely go and check it out just for that
Yeah,
incentive.
that's so good.
That's
Hey, another
awesome.
question for you. Thought also about having gift vouchers that people can purchase for friends and what have we, for birthdays and events, anniversaries,
yeah.
whatever else, because I would love to have this be a gift that could be given to people that I know, and or even if I'm running like, a athlete of
Giveaway.
the month
Yeah,
type
giveaway or
thing,
something.
or a giveaway on my Instagram pages. I would love to be able to offer someone the opportunity to run a competition and win something like that too. So I think if you aren't already doing it, can we organize one of those, Sarah?
Yeah, definitely. I'll organize that. It's a great idea.
Yeah, because I do love
love
that.
that
I think
idea.
that's a really cool thing for people to do. Now, for everyone that hasn't yet seen you, where can they find you and how can they approach you about listing something if they have stuff to sell or hire?
Yeah, so the website is just thecompcloset.com. So the COMP closet.com. That's the website. You can go on there. Super simple to list your items. All you need to do is create an account and then you can list all of your items. If you have any questions or anything, you can message us on Instagram, which is the Comp Closet. So we're pretty easy to find. We also have the Comp Closet community on Facebook. So you can go there to meet friends and find networks and ask questions. There's lots of pros and coaches and incredible people in there that will help you as well, just out of the kindness of their hearts and because they all love competing too. And then we also have the Comp Closet podcast as well. So that's on Spotify and YouTube. And we share really incredible stories of competitors from all walks of life, from champion competitors or people who just won their pro card, mums with multiple kids, all these different competitors to share inspiring stories and tips and tricks for competing. So yeah, you can find us at Comp Closet really on all platforms.
Fantastic. I'm
Love
so proud of you, lady. I have loved watching this blossom. It's such an invaluable tool for everyone in the industry. So I think it's fantastic. Massive kudos to you. And
Congratulations,
obviously
honestly.
to the man behind the lady too. We can't forget Justin. We got to say
Yeah,
massive
it's a
congrats to
partner,
him too.
right?
Yeah.
It's a partnership always. Every time we see our faces, like including ourselves, Allie,
There's
like,
a good man
we've got
behind
partners
it.
on, behind the scenes, right? That are always backing and supporting everything that we do. We just are little floating heads that show up and
Yeah,
to
exactly.
do some of that front end work. But no, hey, congrats to you. I really am super pumped to see how this goes over the rest of the year and then going into 2025, because that's probably where your main mission is, right? Is like knowing 2025 is going to be where Comp Closet is known versus right now it's getting known and it's getting, out into the world. So definitely something I will look forward to seeing the growth of and being a part of, because I do think that I'm ready to get rid of some of this stuff that I have in my closet. I've just been holding it on for too long, and it's okay. I don't think I'm so sentimental about it as now. And maybe anyone relates that was listening that maybe was sentimental about going pro in a bikini or in a gown or in a wear, that they were like, you know what, I just don't want to rent it or don't want to even sell this. I don't want anybody else wearing it. And it's not about that as much the sentiment it is to you. It's not about someone else wearing it. I think that now it's more for me of like, okay, I'm ready to let it go. And it doesn't have to sit in my closet. I don't even know why I had that one. So yeah, I would love to pop up to your site. So that's definitely something I'll do here when I get a moment. But for me on the US side, what is this shipping cost looking like for maybe these overseas competitors that are looking to buy Australian based or New Zealand based?
Yeah, I'd say depending on the speed and where you're shipping it to in the US, anywhere between 50 to 100 Australian dollars, like
That's what I thought.
30 to
It's
60
really
US dollars maybe.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I was like, not bad at all. Like, really, from international standpoint, $30 to $50 is already a very standard, price point. So 30 to 60 or even 30 to 70, I was even putting up to $100 just because I think it's worth the price change in conversion from most Australian money to US money. So I think that does make a big difference just for any American listening that wants to purchase from overseas. And given euros and European side might look different, guys, because that is a different money conversion as well. So we're talking about Australian and New Zealand right now. So that does make a little bit of a difference. So when you're looking on the site, start looking at the money that it's converted into, whether if that AUD, USD, euro, or heck, I don't know, any other conversion that's coming out on there.
Yeah, exactly. At the moment, everything on the site, no matter where you're looking from, is in Australian dollars. So we're working to multi-currency, but it's quite technical apparently. So
it is.
Oh, look, I'm gonna tell you from I just look at a number and I assume. So you're American, you don't read past the number. Like you read the number and you're like, okay, it's $200, but it's not. It's 200 AUD, which is going to be a lot less in American money than you would. So just bringing that up because most nowadays, people are lazy. They're just lazy and have to read the whole sentence.
Look, it's been such an absolute pleasure to have you on, Sarah, and I'm so stoked to see this doing as well as it is, and I cannot wait for all of our listeners to jump on, suss it out, get in contact, maybe pick up some great bargains and or offload some baggage. do what you need to do. It goes both ways. I love it. And I'm super excited to just hand you over the ditch all my stuff to sell.
Thank you so much for having me on. It's amazing to be able to share more about the comp closet and just keep growing and helping more competitors, which is, like I said at the start, the overall vision and mission.
I love it.
Man,
I love it.
We appreciate what you're doing to the community. We appreciate what you're doing for the industry. It's a much needed thing. And thank you again for just being such a great competitor, because that goes to show your initiative, your passion for this industry, and your passion to be a leader. So thank you, because that really shows how great of a person you are for helping everyone, not just people that are showing interest in you, which nowadays is kind of what the culture is. It's like, unless you give me something, I'm going to give you something back. And it's like a give and play. And I'm not about that. So I really love how much you're giving back. And I've seen firsthand as an amateur competitor flourish into a pro, and Allie, being such an amazing coach, has been able to lead you into such a great pro where you're leading by example. So thank you. So again, from my end over here, thank you for being such a good leader and competitor and making, a wave in this industry.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
My thank you for
coming on. Yeah. Go and follow Sarah if you haven't already. Follow the Comp Closet and make sure that you are logging on, checking out new different suits, different gowns, different themers, because as most social media platforms are, everything is differently moving every day, different posts. It's evolving to different sales. Probably things are gone faster than you think. So hop on it and actually see maybe what you've got to save or like or screenshot and make your decision as quick as possible, because if you're like me and you leave something in the cart, it's gone by the time that you actually come back. So don't wait too long and be like myself, like, God, I thought I bought that and it was still sitting in the cart. Like, legitimately, it's my story of my life. I'm like, but I don't get it. Now it's not in my size. It's sold out. So don't be me and just go ahead and, purchase when you actually have it in your cart.
Gotta be quick.
Yes. Sarah, thank you for coming on. And Allie, is so good to see you, babe.
Always good to see you too, darling. Yes. And I will be chatting with you soon, Sarah. We've got a check-in to go through.
We do.
Hey, best of luck prepping this off season, Sarah and Allie. I'll see you soon, babe. I can't wait to see you here in Texas, woman.
I know. Matter of weeks. Hey, I get my birthday with you this year.
I know. I'm pumped. I've got something waiting for you.
I better have a cake.
Welcome to Texas. Oh, more than a cake, honey. So you got it. I'm pumped, guys. Thank you so much for
guys.
session,
Thanks so
and
much.
I'll see y'all
Thanks.
soon.
Bye.
Yes, take care.
Speak to you soon. Bye.
Bye.